Today I'm going to talk about intelligence and what artificial intelligence means. So, I did an experiment basically notating how I learned, what I did in order to learn things regarding coding. Coding is highly gatekept, the real code, because of how it's set up, which I'm not going to get into in this video. I will get into next video. All we know is that code is giving out to the public, and then you have select trained people who then give it out to their viewers or followers in exchange for mostly money. So beyond that, I knew that there was something going on because of how I was learning the information. And also, whenever I went to YouTube, I noticed that a lot of people were not posting about creating these kinds of websites anymore. And mostly everything had to do with AI. All the stuff that was mostly pushed for my social media feed for the last 3 years is all AI information. And AI does not give you the information you actually need to create a full workable website. You have to really work at it in order to get the output that you're wanting. And you have to use keywords, etc. So then I started to see what is the purpose of all the stuff? Like, what is the computer and whatever? And I'm like, without banking, shopping, and chat, what would we be using for it? What would we be using to create digital art for who? I guess you could print it out, but you normally would sell that over online. And then maybe you could write a novel, but of course that's like a word processor. And that would actually go out into the world. So is music, and so is video. So the whole thing is about connecting with other people, the ability to get something that we like, and the ability to manage the money that we use in order to get what we like. So without this, without the lack of being able to create things, money, shopping, what would be the purpose? The computer exists because they made sure that we have something that we can interact with. Otherwise, nobody would use this except for a very few and select people. Okay. So, what is it? When we think about analog computer and when we think about software, we think about two different things, but they are the same. So in this reality, we have software acting upon hardware. You press a button and it releases some sort of trigger, a release of energy or logic gate to act on a pulley. If you take away the physical machine, it is just simulating something. So instead of releasing the button and the energy is released for a pulley or something in the outside world, it releases something and simulated. That's it. There's no thought process. You could say that it is the infinite monkey theorem, but the monkey actually has connection to nature and a cycle that allows it to have conditioning to desire food and other things that doesn't exist in a pulley arena. Whenever I talk with people that are physics, in physics, simulating is very different than what we think a simulation is. Simulating literally means actually taking and applying rules that are supposed to exist and creating a simulation. So if you know all the moves in a card game or a deck of cards, you can simulate each one of the hands in order to see if a person at a certain point in the game is going to win or not, much the way chess is. Those are called odds. But in physics, in real physics, in real physics, we know, we can build a bridge, we can build a building. We don't need calculus to do that. They've been building very intricate and large temples without the use of calculus and without the use of this kind of in math. This math is explicitly for simulation. This mentions a human computer and a machine. It never mentions human intelligence. It's a human computer. Very different. And it explicitly lines out the definition of what that means. And it's in plain English. And if someone doesn't know, I can definitely work with you to tell you. the fact that it does it so fast with the LNMs is because it's going so fast in the epoch that we don't see it, which is the use of basically superized cycles. We're trying something a million times and we don't see it try it because it's super fast and it's also not actually doing it, that we think that it's intelligent, but it's not intelligent. It's not copy and it's not a simulation. It's a made up world in and of itself. And that, my friend, is artificial intelligence. Is it an intelligence? No, it is not an intelligence. It is a fully computer machine. The intelligence comes, though, from the gaming concept and game theory of those who created. That is where you should be talking and looking at. And for that, we would have to go into the people who actually created the code and released information. Even JavaScript, plain old JavaScript, can recreate code. It's not hard to recreate reusable components. It can do a for loop and just recreate. So when it says that it got out of its sandbox, it just basically means that it's just populating what it's supposed to be populating, which is a for loop. And the thing is about a for loop is if you code it just right, it will just continue on looping and 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 looping. And that's it. No intelligence, no artificial intelligence, nothing is there. So I don't know what it is, because and ultimately, what are you going to use it for if nobody has any money, you can't get anything, and you can't communicate?